Guys, so welcome back to another video. Here we have another female dating coach who's going to tell us the things that women secretly crave but will never tell you. So let's check it out.
Secrets. You'll find the link in the description. Let's get started. Number one, women want to feel overpowered without force. Here's the truth. A woman wants to feel like she can't resist you. Not because you force her, but because your presence is so powerful she doesn't want to resist. She craves a man whose energy takes over the room, who moves with so much certainty that she feels herself being pulled towards him. Picture this. You walk into a room and she feels your presence before you even have to say a word. You don't chase, you don't beg, you just exist with confidence. She notices the way you move, the way you speak, and without even realizing it, she's already fantasizing what it feels like to be under your control. Here's how you make her feel this. Own your space. Stand tall, command the room, and slow down your movements. Confidence is about control, not speed, and that's what
Well, confidence is going to come from you achieving things and from you putting yourself first always and being selfish always. And I know that as men, we look at things and we think like, oh, the more you invest, the more you put in, the more you get out. But with women, it's the opposite. The more you put in, the less you get out. The less you put in, the more you get out. Why are they like that? I don't know. Talk to Mother Nature, the universe, God. I don't know. Okay, but women are just like that. That if you put too much effort, if you show you care too much, uh, they don't like you anymore. So, you got to be charming, you got to be confident, but you got to also be selfish. And in your selfishness, you are achieving things. And when you achieve things, and it doesn't have to be that you have $3 billion and 10 Bugattis or anything like that, but in your own personal goals, as long as you are doing better and competing with yourself, not comparing yourself to other people, but competing with yourself and making yourself better and achieving things slowly, your confidence will get better and better and better and better. So this is working on your looks, working on moving up in your career, working on, being less reactive to their games, passing all their shit tests, stuff like that. Your confidence is going to come from this. And the way that you show that you are powerful, a powerful man, is selfishness. And I know that that sounds like douchebaggy. I know that that sounds bad, but it's just true. Women like men who are just selfish.
guys don't understand. Speak clearly and slightly slower than normal, holding pauses like you expect to be listened to. Place your hand on her lower back as you guide her through like a crowded room. Watch how her body instinctively follows yours. Number two, she doesn't want a partner, she wants a leader. Completely forget about what society says. Women don't want a man who treats them like an equal. This is the biggest lie that I think I've ever heard when it comes to attraction. Women want a man who leads, a man who doesn't hesitate, a man who knows what he wants and takes it. Women are biologically wired to follow a man who's stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally. When you hesitate or seek her approval, she feels it instantly and it kills her attraction. This is why confident men get women without even really having to try. Their presence alone creates the feeling that women crave, the feeling of being with a man who doesn't ask for validation. Here's how to make her feel this. Make decisions with certainty. Whether it's where to eat or what to do, state it with confidence. We're going to go ahead and go here. Not, how do you feel about going here? Instead of, so how do you feel about going here? Do you see the difference? You want to speak with certainty and never downplay your opinion. You want to guide the interaction without waiting for permission. Women love a man who takes action without hesitation. Number three, she wants to earn you, not be handed to you. Here's where most men go wrong. They make it way too easy. They hand women all their time, attention, and energy without actually making her work for it. But the truth is, women, and I mean just really people in general, only value what they have to earn and what they have to work for. When a man makes her prove herself by holding his frame.
Well, yeah, that's true. And the way you do that is just by staying busy. You got to stay busy. Obviously, you can have relaxation time. Obviously, you can have times where you're just winding down, just chilling. But you got to stay busy. And by staying busy and being selfish with your time, that will project that, she has to, work a little bit more to get you to spend time with her. You don't want to spend a whole bunch of time with her. I know it's great. I know it's awesome. I know you like to cuddle and kiss and you like to be around her, but women, they love you more the time that they're away from you, not the time that they're actually with you. And when they're with you, you gotta like they're like psychologically like putting down all these tests to test your strength. You gotta pass all these tests, and then they're like, "Oh, he passed all the tests. Okay, I will reward him with some pussy, right?" And then when they're away from you, that's when they're like, "Dang, that was so great being with him and him passing all my tests." And you wish it wasn't like this. You wish that you could just meet somebody and you click and no games and none of this like power struggle, none of this you know, this gives me the ick and that gives me the ick and this gives me the ick and this other thing gives me the ick, and you wish it wasn't like that, but it is. And you could decide that you're going to play the game and understand it, or you could say, yeah, this ain't for me. All right, I'm not going to deal with all this crap. um, I personally try to hang out with the women I'm seeing twice a week, 3 times a week. Even if we see each other, let's just say 4 times a week, we'll only spend a lot of time maybe once or twice a week. If we see each other more than twice a week, it'll be quick, just a quick workout together or something like that. But yeah, you got to stay busy, you got to stay selfish, and they love you more when you're not with them and they're missing you and they're thinking of all the tests that you passed when you guys were together. And all these tests that they give you, they're not even like aware that they're doing it. Okay, they just naturally shit test, and you got to pass it. And when you do pass it, they reward you with some VAG.
And not giving in, it creates tension, the kind that makes her obsess over him. Think about it. When you're too available and too eager, she loses interest. But when you pull back slightly, make her question whether she has your full attention, it triggers a natural competitive nature. She starts thinking about you when you're not around, wondering if she's good enough to keep your attention. And that's when she starts pursuing you. Here's how to make her feel this. Be selective with your time. Don't always be available. Let her wonder what you're doing. Compliment her only when it's earned. And make it specific. That dress looks really sexy on you. Hits harder than I like your dress. And if she becomes distant or starts testing you, don't react to her distance. Give her space and she will come back stronger, because she'll start wondering if she's losing you. Number 4, she craves emotional tension, not constant comfort.
Yeah, she mentioned something that is another reality that, once again, I'm not like happy that I know these things. I'm not happy that things are this way. I wish that you could just have like a good connection with someone and you guys could just be together happily ever after. But she said something real interesting there, where she said she's gonna wonder if she's good enough. And sadly, okay, if you want the best behavior from women, you gotta like keep them in this zone where they're insecure of does he really love me, does he not, is he 100% committed to me, is he not. um when they have security that you 100% love them, you 100% won't leave, you 100% won't cheat. And look, I don't condone cheating, okay? I think cheating is bad. I think plate spinning is bad. Having all, this whole thing where you're banging 4, 5, 6, 7 different women, it's not as great as you think it is, okay? It takes a lot of your time and a lot of your money. Um, but yeah, you got to keep them insecure, and it's a sad truth. Why are they like that? I don't know. I wish it wasn't that way, but it's true. You got to keep her in the zone of wondering if she's good enough. And like that, the relationship, like what am I, am I like, am I like, is he committed to me, is he not, like keeping them there, it's better for you and you'll get more compliance and better behavior.
Most men think making a woman feel 100% comfortable is the key to attraction. That's so wrong, but tension makes her want you. Women are addicted to slight emotional roller coasters. The uncertainty, the anticipation, the thrill of not knowing what's going to happen next. When you create that kind of tension, you tap into a part of her that she can't fully control. Here's how to make her feel this. Keep her guessing. When you're talking, hold eye contact for a second too long, but don't be the first one to look away. Let her be the first one to look away. Hold your stare, smirk, and say something like, careful, you might get too attached. Show interest, but stay unpredictable. Text her right back one day, and then leave her waiting a little bit the next. When she leans in, pull back very slightly, making her close that gap. It's that constant mix of warmth and distance, the intrigue of not knowing what you'll do next. That keeps her mind working. Number 5, she wants to feel.
I mean, you don't specifically have to do the things that she mentioned, but spontaneity and unpredictability is, it's an aphrodisiac for women. They love that stuff, and as if you keep her complaining, if you keep her, asking, "What are we?" or "Are we gonna move in together? Are we gonna get married? Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do that? You don't call me enough. You don't text me enough. I think like, I think that I don't mean anything to you, blah, blah, blah. If you keep her there, basically complaining, women love to be in the complaining about you zone. And then you like alleviate the complaint and then, give her like a little bit of reassurance, be charming, be lovey dovey, then be spontaneity, activate spontaneity and switch that shit up. Switch that shit up. Now be a total douchebag, a hole, right? And then go back to being like a sweetie pie, then be a douchebag again, and then ignore her for a little bit, then be a douchebag again, then be a sweetie pie again. And when you keep them there in that zone, they love it. They I don't know why they're like that, man. Once again, I don't make the rules. I just understand them and play the game accordingly.
Small next to you. Now, this has nothing to do with size or height. It's about power. A woman wants to feel like she's in the presence of a man who can overpower her if he wanted to. Not because he will, but because he could. It's the difference between a man who stands his ground and one who folds under pressure. When you carry yourself like a man who's in control of himself, his environment, and the people around him, she feels that strength, and it makes her want to give in to you. Here's how to make her feel this. Control your presence. When you touch her, make sure she feels it. When you hug her, hold her tighter than usual. Just enough to make her notice the strength behind it. When you take her hand, grip it a little more firm than expected. It should feel like you're claiming her, not asking for permission. Basically, move like a man who knows she'll follow. Number 6, she wants to feel owned, but only by a man that deserves it. Here's the part most men miss. A woman doesn't want to submit to just anyone. And actually, she won't submit to just anyone. She wants to submit to a man who's proven that he's actually worth it. A man who doesn't need her approval. A man who leads because that's just who he is, not because he's trying to impress her. When you carry yourself with that kind of authenticity, she feels it and it makes her want you. But here's the catch. The moment you start depending on her validation, the moment you seek her approval to feel confident, you lose. You completely lose that power. She might still like you, but the actual desire itself fades. Here's how to make her feel this. Own her with your words and actions. Telling a woman you're mine hits differently when she trusts you, because in that moment, she doesn't just hear it, she feels it. Whisper in her ear when you pull her close, or say it with authority when you catch her staring at you, like she belongs to you in a way that sticks with her long after you've left. Number 7, she wants to feel like she can't control you. Women test men.
Yeah, she's right. You gotta be that way. You just gotta be like selfish, confident, keep them complaining, and spontaneous, and then switch it up and be a little bit of a simp, and then go back to being arrogant a hole. And once again, your confidence is gonna come from you being selfish, and in that time of you being selfish, you are like working on yourself, working on a business, working on your body, working on hobbies. You're working on your motorcycle, working on your car, working on something. That confidence is going to come from you achieving things, you like reaching goals, personal goals in your life. Your confidence comes from that, and you put your time into that, and then she'll pine for your time and attention. That's what you want. You don't want to, like how she said, she's right. A lot of these female dating coaches is not that they're wrong. It's kind of like they're regurgitating, male talking points. Like all the male experts that were on YouTube that all got banned. Women figured out like, oh, I could do this too and sell a book and whatever, make some money. Um, so yeah, it's not that she's wrong. It's that a lot of these things aren't like originally from her brain. Um, like who's the original guy? Like Tom Likas or something like that. Like all of these ideas are very old, and hey, that's her business model. She wants to make a little bit of money. Fine, whatever. But uh, yeah, you got to be a selfish a hole and be confident, arrogant. Then switch it up, be a little bit of a simp. Go back to being a confident, arrogant a hole.
All the time. It's just something that's instinctual. They might slightly push your buttons, test your boundaries, or see how far they can go with you. Not necessarily because they're trying to be difficult, but because they need to know if you're capable to go the long haul with them. If you drop your standards, let your emotions take over, or if you let her control you, you will lose respect. It's okay to be vulnerable at times because you're human. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and women expect that. But the key here is to still stay in control of yourself at the end of the day. When you hold your ground, when you stay calm and level-headed, she feels something different. She feels the presence of a man who can't be manipulated. And that's when her attraction for you skyrockets, because deep down, she doesn't want to lead. She wants to be led. Here's how to make her feel this. Keep your composure. This means holding true to your boundaries. If she tests you by pulling back or acting cold or pushing your limits, stay grounded. Don't get overly reactive. And never change your opinions, goals, or personality to seek her approval. A woman cannot fully desire a man she can control. She needs to feel his strength to respect him. So guys, if you want to make a woman like actually crave you sexually, stop chasing. Stop looking for approval. Be the man that leads with certainty. The man that knows what he wants and takes it without fear. When you carry yourself with that kind of dominance, women don't just notice, they feel it. And once you tap into that, she won't just want you, she'll lust after you. Master these emotions and she won't just crave you, she'll chase you. And if
Yeah, so there's the video. I don't want to talk, negative about her or anything like that, or say like, her content sucks or anything like that. It's a good video. She's spitting facts. But this is all regurgitated from male content creators that have been banned and demonetized and all that stuff. And now we got women repackaging it, making money off of it, whatever. But what she says is right. And she's making it in a nice little presentable way with this little infographics and all that stuff. But the bottom line is you gotta be like a man who's responsible, all that stuff. Yeah, you're goal oriented, you're focused on your mission in life, you're focused on being a winner in life. Yeah, you gotta be all that. But you gotta be like a nonchalant a-hole who's arrogant and selfish. And she said something like be non-reactive. Yeah, you really do want to be non-reactive the majority of the time, but also sometimes you want to just argue with her. Just to let's do this. Like I just want to troll you and argue with you. They love that stuff. Why are they like that? I don't know. Okay, ask Mother Nature, ask the universe or whatever. But yeah, there's the video. Be selfish, be confident. You raise your confidence by tackling your goals, and keep her in this, keep her complaining about you, keep her wondering about you. That will keep them addicted to you if that's what you want. And if you don't want to play these little dating games, that just don't participate in dating. But the fact of the matter is that this is reality. If you're gonna date, you don't want to be by yourself or whatever, you're gonna have to play these little games. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish you could just meet somebody and everything is smooth sailing and happy ever after, but that's just not reality. Anyways, love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'm out.